Hello and welcome to another origami video where I'm gonna show you how to make this cat right here. So as you can see, it's gonna look like this while standing. You'll see it in the thumbnail. So to start with, we need a piece of paper. Make sure it's square. I'm using a 25 by 25 centimeter piece of paper. And if you're using a paper that is colored on one side and white on the other side, then just start on the colored side facing up. But my paper is double-sided, so I don't have to worry about that. But again, if you're using one that's white side and colored, you start with the colored side facing upwards. So what you're going to do first is you're just going to fold horizontally, just like this. I'm going to fold both ways here. For me, I find it easier if I lift up the paper like this, line it up with my fingers and then put it down, but of course do it whichever way you want to do it. Right, now we're done with that. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to say it for a third time. If you're using one with the white side, we're now with the white side, the color side is now facing down. So these are all mountain folds now, these horizontal folds that we just made. But now what we're going to do is we're going to fold diagonally. Right? There you go. There's our first diagonal fold. And we're going to do that with the other side too. Right? Now, moving on, we have this. We have our horizontal folds and our diagonal folds. Now, we're going to fold this corner into the middle, and we're going to do that for 3 sides. We're going to leave one side unfolded. Make sure it lines up. Same here. And same for this last one. Just gonna take this corner right to the middle there. And we're leaving one side face up. Not face up, we're gonna leave one side unfolded, and we're gonna unfold all of these folds that we just made. So we're gonna get like an unfinished cube here. So now, with this being our top, we're gonna go from this edge is going to line up with this middle crease. So you're just going to bring it down here, make sure it's all nice and lined up. And make sure you're not going over it, so you can take this slowly. Just make sure everything is nice and straight. And of course, same thing on the other side. Okay. Now that we have that, we're gonna unfold. And now we're gonna do the same thing. We're bringing this edge here, but instead we're going to fold it onto this middle line. So we can face it back this way where we had it before. We're bringing this edge into this horizontal line now. So we're going to end up with something like this and do the same for the other side. For me, it's easier if I flip it around like this, but of course do it however you feel like it. Whatever is the easiest for you who's folding. As long as you get the crease, does not matter what technique you use. Okay. Now same thing on the other side here. Right, now we're gonna flip it back to here where all of our creases are made. We're gonna bring this top point down to this X that was created by the two creases we just did. So we're gonna valley fold right down here, just bring it down, and that looks to be good. Make sure it lines up once again. I'm gonna flip it around. So this would be your colored side again if you're using your white and colored paper. So what we're gonna do here is this line that was made by that kite that we made before. We're gonna bring this edge all the way over here, over to here. And again, make sure that middle line is lining up. Just crease all the way down. And do the same thing on the other side. Now that you have this, we're gonna flip it over again. And these new lines that you just made is what we're going to do, is what we're gonna use now. We're gonna fold this edge right here onto these new lines that were just made. Again, I'll be saying this a lot, but make sure everything lines up here. Doesn't line up at the top, just pull down a little bit. There you go. Same thing on the other side. Right, and now this line, this crease that we just made is not what we're gonna fold onto. It's gonna be this other diagonal crease right here, but we're just using this as a point that we can use to get to here. So this crease that we made, it's not what we're folding to. We're folding to the second one right here, and make sure that is straight. And do the same thing on this side. Okay. Now that we have that, what we're gonna do is we want to divide this rectangle you see here. We want to divide that by half. What we're going to do is we're going to mountain fold this crease that we made earlier right here, and we are going to bring this crease into the middle to get it to be halved. So make sure everything is flat while you're doing this, and you're just going to bring it to the middle. There you go, just valley fold at the back, and if you want to make it sharper, open this up, and then there you are. So you did that, we want to do that for this too. And make sure you include the triangle up here. So again, mountain fold this, press down with your fingers in the middle to flatten it a little bit. It'll get some paper at the back here. Then we're just gonna fold that crease into the middle to have it. we did that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this corner right here. We're gonna bring it up to this corner this triangle is making. And we want to keep this flat. So we're gonna keep this side flat. We're not gonna move this side. So to demonstrate, we're bringing this corner up. It touches that corner. And it should, nothing like this should be happening, right? We should have this whole edge be flat with itself, and then we can fold down all the way. Another thing that I look out for is this middle horizontal crease that we made at the start, having this line up with itself. Then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna bring this corner up to this corner that this triangle has made. And if it doesn't line up, you can always move it back and forth a little bit. Right? Now we just unfold. So now what we're gonna do, so we're gonna take this and we're gonna fold it up to the top. Like that. Right? And then this is gonna get a little tricky. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take this top edge and I'm going to fold it down to this bottom crease. It's the same thing that we did earlier, but with a much smaller piece of paper. Right? Same thing on the other side. Taking this edge down. Go, and you can unfold. And now what we're gonna do is, you see on this edge where this crease is ending, on this edge where this crease is ending, we're gonna use that as a point to get to the bottom of this. So we're gonna use this right here. We're gonna line it up on both sides. We're also gonna line it up in the middle. So here, I'll show you again. Where this crease ends and where this crease ends is what's going to be touching this crease when you fold down. Right there and right there. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing here, where you're going to fold upwards up to that crease right there. Same thing on the other side. We're taking this edge to the top now. Right? Now when we're looking at this, we're gonna see two places where it intersects with this middle kite shape. So right here where my finger is, and right here where my finger is. So this is where our diagonal creases that we made are intersecting with this middle kite shape. And that point is what we're going to use to fold up with. So I'll show you again. The lines that we just made will intersect this middle kite shape, and that is where we want to fold up on. Hope you can see that. So now what we're going to do, now that we have this, we're going to use the creases that we made, and we are going to fold this in so we get this to be fully colored, and we're gonna fold this middle kite shape in. So we're gonna get something like this, right? The same on the other side. It's not gonna go down just yet. What we want to do is we're gonna hold this back. We're gonna hold the back part of this, and we're just gonna fold down here. It's gonna be a little tricky because the paper wants to fight you here. If it does, just put it back and fold it down. There you go. So you have something like this. Now, what we want to do is we're gonna fold this down now. What's gonna happen is we're gonna fold this like this. And then same thing on the other side, this like this, and you're just gonna push it to the middle till it stops, and then we are good to press down, and you should get something like this. Right. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this right in half, just valley folding, making sure that this is also getting folded along with everything. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the bottom here. So what we wanna do is this crease right here, we're gonna fold this edge to, making sure that the two layers that we have are also with each other. We don't want the layers to separate while we're folding. That is really bad. Alright, and then this top part here, we're gonna fold where this triangle is, that edge. So this is fairly easy to do, should just happen, then you can crease down. And now we're gonna take this edge right here, and we're going to fold this edge to it. This crease, I should say. So this edge to this crease that is going to the middle here. And if it doesn't happen the first time, don't press too hard. You only want to crease firmly once you know 100% that the crease is in the right spot. What I did there was I creased a little bit and then I pushed it over. It shouldn't affect anything. Right, now what we're going to do is this crease that we just made, we're going to reverse fold that. So we're going to mountain fold this side, the other side's going to get valley folded. So we're just going to reverse it in. And make sure you get the other side too. Right, there you go, and you can flatten. And I'll show you again. So what we just did there was this crease that we just made, we're going to open it up and we're going to poke this through. Right, we're going to mountain fold this on this side, and everything else should just kind of line up. So if we're going to do it this view, which is usually what ends up happening, we're going to get something like this, right? Then we're just going to push it in, make sure you're creasing this while you're doing this. The paper is going to fight you again. And there you go. I get something like this. So when you have this, what you want to do is you're going to fold this right here, this crease going right through the middle of this. You're going to valley fold this, make sure everything is lined up, of course. And now that you have this valley fold, you're going to bring it back, and this crease right here, we're going to squash on this. The best way that I find to do this is I put my finger through the end here, making sure these bottom two flaps are together. I'm going to push down, and we're just going to put my finger in again so we can spread this out a little bit. Right? Till we get to this point. we're, because it's together, we're gonna pull apart. Actually, no, we're not. Okay, I'm gonna keep on going until we reach here. And when we reach here, we are gonna keep it going. This is basically syncing this. You're gonna keep on going until this is flat on top. Right? There we are. Now we're going to flip this over and we are going to valley fold on the center line with just this first layer. We should see that piece we made earlier, that's going to be the head. Now we're going to valley fold down using this crease. Right? Then this is a little tricky, we're going to open this up. And then these two flaps here, I'm going to reverse fold it with this crease that's going along. What's going to happen? Actually, we're not going to open that. We're going to reverse fold this with it. Just like that. Alright. There we go. So have something like this now. Make sure everything is all lined up. And then we're going to hold this to the middle, and this top flap that we have, we're going to squash fold it down. An easy way to do this is you get this fold in first. So you're taking this edge and you're going to fold it to the middle. Right, and then we are just going to do squash fold. Very simple. We're gonna open this up here, and that crease that we just made, we're gonna squash down on. There you go. And if the middle line doesn't line up, you can of course move the fold over a little bit. By lifting it up, pushing down, and then creasing again. Because you want this middle crease to line up, if anything. Right? Now that you have this, I'm going to fold up here. There should already be a crease there for you to follow. And this, we are going to fold right down to this crease. Like that. So you're taking this edge and folding down this edge. Alright. Now do we have this? What we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up just a tad. So we get this, right? Still folded. And we're gonna pull on this first layer. And we're gonna fold back down. So you should end up pulling out what was there. You have something like this square. So now I'm gonna fold this bottom edge to this crease right here, just like that. Right? You're gonna unfold that, and what you're gonna do is this crease that you folded onto, you're gonna reverse fold that in first. Okay, have that, and then that new crease that we made, we're gonna reverse fold out. So you should end up with something like this. Alright, now we're going to fold this back this way and make sure this is getting mounted folded and this bottom part is getting valley folded. So now we're going to repeat the same thing on this side. where we're going to first reverse fold this, making sure this middle part also does not get reverse folded. Right. Making sure we follow this crease right here all the way through. And if you need a little bit of help, like I do here, you can redo this fold, this crease. Okay, and you just unfold it and try again. So we have this, and now we're gonna do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So we're gonna fold this over, take this first flap here, and squash it down. You don't really need to do that step, but it is easier if you do it, so you don't have to manually line it up like this. Of course, if you feel like it, you can always do it like this, which is a lot faster anyways. So we squash this down. Then we're gonna take this left side now, since we switch sides. Okay. And we're gonna do the exact same thing where we take this edge down to this bottom, or this side. Taking the top edge down to the side. We're gonna open this up just a bit, lift this up, fold this down. We'll get a square sheet of paper here. Well, not really square sheet of paper, but you know what I mean. We get a flap that is unconnected to this now. Then we're gonna do the same thing. This crease that is ready made for you right here, we're going to take this bottom edge and fold it to that crease. Just like this. Okay. And then we're going to reverse fold this in. The bigger crease. And we're going to reverse fold the small crease out of there. Just like that with that fold that we made. Alright, now that you have that, you are going to take this and you're going to fold it back, making sure again this bottom part is being valley folded, this top part not. So you'll get something like this again. Alright, so now we're going to flip this over. So now this part is a little tricky, so you have to pay attention. I'll go slowly. So you're going to open this up, okay, and you're going to open this up even more. So you're going to see the head down here, just ignore that, and if you see it on one of these flaps, you can of course undo that. So here, you're going to fold out like this, right? And from here, we are going to take, here, let me restart this because I went a little fast. Okay, so we're gonna open this up, alright? We're gonna unfold this, and we're gonna flatten this top part out, just like this. So you get something like this. So this fold gets flattened out, and you should just be able to, while flattening this out with your thumbs, push down and get a diamond shape. Then you can just crease here. And also crease here, everything should line up. Alright? So that's what should happen. You might run into some problems there. So of course, play that in slow motion. Hopefully that helps you. So we're going to flip this around, and we'll have this on the other side. We're going to fold this up. Okay, right following this crease here. And if you don't see the head in this step, you can just pull it out. So mine was sitting back here for some reason. Happens sometimes. You just pull it out. There you go. Next, you're gonna mount and fold this backwards right in the middle here using this crease. And it's gonna separate a little bit. Don't worry about that, it'll flatten out. Right? And you could put it down on the table and then you can just flatten it as much as you want to. Because you want this flat. And you can flip it over to the same on this side, but this side has gotten flattened. So next, we're gonna inside reverse fold using this crease here. It's gonna be a little faint, but you can do it. You're gonna open this up all the way. You're gonna inside reverse fold right on this furthest crease. Just gonna valley on this and valley on this. Okay. Then mount and fold this middle piece. And you should get this. Looking kind of like a cap now. Right. So if you had a colored piece of paper, this spot should be white. This should also be white. And then this and this should be orange or whatever color you're using. Alright, next we're gonna use the second line or the second crease right here and we're gonna fold down on this. It's gonna be a little faint, but you can get it if you just push down on it. Same thing on this side. Gonna mount and fold this. Crease right here. It is a little faint. It's fine. Okay. So you're just gonna push down on it like this. There you go. Right. So now that you have something like this, what you want to do is you're gonna this part's a little tricky. You're gonna take this up to the point where you have something like this, right? So again, let's do this again. We're gonna mount and fold here so you get this going. This is the point that we want to lift up right here, so you can pinch that down. And you'll be getting something like this. You don't want to fold more than this line that's already made for you here. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold down till you get something like this. So it's easier if you start from the tail here. You're gonna fold down this top edge to the bottom. The paper's fighting me, so it's a little tough. And then you're just gonna bring it all the way over, making sure it lines up with the edge here. Right? Once you get it pinched on the other side, you're able to just pull this. And you should be good to just fold it down. And making sure this diamond that you just made is straight. You get something that looks like this. Right, I can redo that because now I have the fold. It should be easier for you to follow. So you have something like this when we start out, okay? Gonna take this. We aren't gonna fold more than this point here. So we're gonna take this, we're going to valley, mountain on here. We're gonna push this and make sure that's flat. And then first, we're going to line up this edge. Make sure it lines up all the way, line up this edge, and then we're going to fold down. So you should get this. Right? We're gonna fold this back. Just like this, creasing this diamond. They're gonna do the same on the other side. So you're gonna take this right here, no further than this point, but you're going to bend the paper a little bit so you can get a little further than that point. There you go. Just like that. And we're gonna fold this back. Okay. I'm gonna flip it back around to our primary side here. Just the side I like to work on, and then I go back to this side. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this down. And while we're bringing this down, this paper is gonna fight us. So make sure you bring both the layers down. Make sure it lines up here. Then you're gonna line up this layer and make sure that the corners line up. Just make sure this top corner lines up. Everything else should just fall right into place. Alright. Then you're gonna take this corner right here, and this is just a judgment fold, which means that you can fold as much as you want. So how much I usually go is I usually go a little bit off of the edge, and I go far down around this much here. Okay. And you can follow the same amount or as much as you want. This is going to be the front leg. Next, we're just going to repeat this on the back side. So we're going to take this down, both the layers, and we're going to take it down to this crease. Sorry, made for you. And then again, we're going to, this piece of paper that's going to be bent in the air, I'm going to fold it down by lining up this top corner. There you go. Like this. And then again, the judgment fold, we're going to go a little bit off of here. And we are going to just fold this down here. Right? And I want to go a little bit more than that. So we can go this far down. Then just do the same here. You can just push it in a little bit. It should just line up. There you go. So now you have something like this, right? And now we're going to make the little feet. So we're going to push this crease up, make it line up with this bottom piece, its belly. Then we're going to take this edge, we're going to line it up to the bottom here. Alright. As we have this, what we're going to do is we are going to line up this top edge. We're going to fold it down to this bottom part where this crease is coming into. It's only going to be, it's going to be both of these layers, all three of these layers here. I'm going to take this top portion, and this layer is also going to move forwards to us. Right? We're going to take it up here, then we're going to bring it down, not that far, only up to this middle crease. So we should just pinch down here, and then while we're doing this crease on the edge should come towards us, and then we can fold that down. That whole thing should just line up like this. Okay. And if it doesn't line up quite as well as you want it to, you can repeat it and just try again. There you go. I like that a lot better. Okay. Then we are going to do the exact same thing on the other side, just to get the front legs. So you're going to fold this up to the edge. Make sure this edge is lined up with its own edge here. Okay. Then we're going to fold this edge down to the bottom. Alright, then we're going to do the exact same thing where we're going to take this point and this on the bottom where this crease is reaching that bottom edge, and where you are just going to fold that down. Okay, so you have this folded first. I'd like to do that first. Then we're going to come down right here. Okay, and then we're able to fold this down as well. This can line up, this sometimes doesn't line up with this at the back, but that's fine. Doesn't matter too much. Of course, if it matters to you, you can line it up. Alright, there you go. So next we're gonna work on the head here, or at least the ears. Well, I don't know what you'd call this, not the ears, but we're gonna fold this down, making sure this diamond is straight right here. Okay, just fold it down as far as it goes. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to take this diamond that we have, we're gonna just open it, and we're gonna fold back so we're able to do this next fold. So we're gonna take this top corner right here, and we're also gonna take this bottom corner right here. We are going to fold it just like this. There we are. So we get this triangle, should be coming straight down. And then we're going to fold this over the triangle. We're not going to fold this edge onto this edge, or we want to fold it a little over, or at least halfway over. And bring it down. There we are, just some extra detail. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So we're going to bring this down here. Alright, I'm going to open up this diamond. If I can get it open. There we are. Fold this back. I'm going to take these two edges. I'm going to make it into a triangle here. Again, this triangle does not have to be straight. We're going to take this edge and we're going to fold the kite shape over here. This is also just a judgment fold, so you can do as far as you want, but I usually go halfway. At least half of this kite is going off. You can fold this back, folding this diamond down, and there we go. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring this down to here. Instead, right? Bring this down, to this bottom crease that's a lot more, I don't know what you call it, but it's much more signified than this top one. You're gonna fold it down here. Then what you're gonna do is we're gonna start our crease on this edge and we're gonna end it on this fold that we just made. Okay. We're gonna tuck this underneath the nose. So you have this. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Then bring this down to this edge and line it up with itself in the middle here. Unfold and then take this as our starting edge and we're going to take this as our ending. And we're going to fold diagonally so that both of them are part of the fold. Okay, ignore these folds that I made here. And we're going to take it and tuck it underneath the nose here. So, now that we have this, what we want to do is we want to take it here and we're going to fold it. We're valley folding right here on this crease. So where the body and head meet, we're going to valley fold. Alright, and what we want to do is we want to open up this pocket. We're going to squash fold this right here, making sure that this lines up that your middle crease lines up with its own middle crease. Okay, so you should get something like this, like a sphinx. Now at this point, we're going to valley fold it back. So you have something like this. Right? And then we're going to take this top point and this point, and we're going to fold them to each other. A little bit of force since there's a lot of layers that are being folded. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this down, but we want to reverse fold this at the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this here. We're going to fold this down. And this should just naturally come with us if we bring our nail through. Okay, and then this is left here, so we're gonna valley fold on this, and this should just line up like this. Okay, let me do that again, because I feel like that was a bit confusing. So we have our line here, our crease. We're opening up this pocket, and we're folding down here. Okay, so what we might end up with is something like this, where we want to fold this up then. Or you just get it right away. I can show you on the other side, which is what I need to do here, but I'll show you in just a little bit, because now we fold this down. So you get what we had before. And then we're going to use this crease here and we're going to valley fold, and we're going to reverse fold. There we are. So you have our diamond here. And now we're going to do that on the other side, where we take this to this point. Okay. And then we're going to open up this back pocket. We're gonna mountain fold this, valley fold this. So it's easier to do the valley first. Put your thumb in here, and then this is left over. So you valley fold this here, and this should just naturally line up here. And if it doesn't, you can move it manually yourself. Then we're going to pull this down. Then we're going to reverse fold on this crease that we have here. So there we are. Now that we're here, what we want to do is we want to fold this back to what we had before when we squashed it down. And then we're going to take this as far as it can go down. Make sure you do line it up with the middle though. When I say as far as it can go, as far as it can go down the middle here. And same with this side. Right. Now we want to, these flaps that we just had here, what we're going to do first is we are going to take this and we're going to fold it down. This little leftover bit. Same on this side's already folded down for me. But there's going to be a little leftover bit here, I can show you again. This little leftover bit we're going to valley fold just on top here. Okay, now what we're going to do with these flaps is we're going to also put these behind the nose. It's a little easier if you bend these. So it's easier to pocket behind this nose here. Okay, same thing on this side, pocket it. We take it behind the nose and behind this, like this rectangle in the back here. So you should end up with this. Okay. Right, we should end up with this. And then what you want to do is we want to hold the chin up a little bit. And we're going to flatten this here. Then this here, this is mostly judgment. You can do this as much as you want. Right here. You can fold it back here. Right? There we are. Now what we want to do with the nose is we want to push this little bit sticking out at the edge. We're just going to push it in with our finger or your thumb, your nail. Takes a little bit to not break everything else along with it or rip everything else along with it. So you're just going to fold it in to here. Okay, just reverse folding that in. You have this right here. You should have that. Alright. And next, what we want to do is we want to work on the back legs. Now this is also mostly judgment, but you must cross this middle point where these two creases intersect. So you can go around here, make this parallel with the front legs. Or it's a little better if you don't do that. If you make the bottom a little bit larger than the top, this gap between the back and front legs. Alright, now that you have this, what you're going to do is you're going to take this edge on the side and you're going to fold it to this edge on the middle. Just like that. Okay. And you're gonna reverse fold this. I'm gonna take this in. This is a little tough again because there's so many layers. Just make sure you don't rip anything. Reverse fold that in. And now, what we want to do is we want to take this. Well, actually, I want to open this up here. So we're pulling one layer out. Just like this. Oh, wait. So we're going to pull out one layer here. Instead of doing what I was just doing, we're going to open up this tail just a little bit, and when you do, you'll pull out this flap. Then you're going to fold that down. Here you have the back leg. What you're going to do with this is I like to just pleat this, but we're going to do that later after we do the back here. So it's easier on this side. We just need to intersect the two points here and then line it up with this foot here. And we can line up the top too. Just like that. Alright. And actually, I feel like this leg is too close. I'm gonna restart this a little bit. I want this to be, yeah, down there. That seems like a lot better spot for it. We're gonna do the same on this side. Alright, don't worry about the tail yet. Looks like a raccoon, I know. So we're gonna fold this up again because it just didn't look right to me. Then we're gonna reverse fold this in. So I think when I reverse folded it, I pushed the leg in. So that's a little bit of problem solving there for you. Want it that close or not, right? Pull this out, and we are going to have that just like this. So we have this. We're going to do the same on the other side. Where you have this, I'm going to fold this up to the top edge, this middle edge, I should say. Then we are going to reverse fold this in, just like this. Now, again, we're going to pull on this first layer of the tail. I should pull out this flap for you. Then we're going to push this over, and we are going to flatten. So you should have this on both sides. So what I like to do on the legs here is I just like to pleat this backwards. It's a lot easier. Right? It's an easy way to make the back legs here. You just pleat it out. Should line up. And you can also reverse fold this edge on the back. It's going to poke out a little bit. I won't let it stand properly. Just ignore the tail for now as well. I just prefer having the bigger foot in the back. I feel like it just looks better. Of course, reverse folding this is a little tough, but you'll get it. There we are. Now same thing on this side. I'm gonna take this, fold it back. we're gonna reverse fold this in because it might interfere. There we are. Right. So now that we have something like this, what we're gonna do now is we're now gonna fold this top edge in just right here. So first we're gonna reverse fold this in. Right. So I'll show you what I did. So right here on this crease, and if I open it up here, you'll see that we have a triangle that we can reverse fold down. So that is exactly what we're going to do. You should get these 2 points up here. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take it as far as you want to. It doesn't really matter too much, except you need to line this up with this. Okay, so that these 2 corners should line up. And you can do the same thing, just following this on this side. Okay. Now that you have this, what you want to do is you're going to take this back as well, just as far as you want it to go, so it looks nice as the back. Okay, same on this side. Okay, now it's looking like a cat, right? But sadly we need to unfold this first before we're able to finish it. So now what we want to do is we want to take this down, but if you look on the inside, we're going to make a little pocket. It's like we did in an earlier step. We're going to fold this down, but we're going to open this and mount and fold this side. So when you fold down, you should get this. So we should end up with a pocket here. Then we can fold this into the pocket, our other edge. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here, except instead of this left side, I want to make a pocket on the right side so it's a little more secure. Okay, we have our pocket, and we're just going to fold this down into it. This one in the back will be coming loose quite a bit, so if you're folding still, which we are going to be for the tail, it's just going to take a little bit of time. Alright, and now this top corner here underneath the hind legs, or the front legs I should say, we are just going to reverse fold this in. And this can be as far as you want, but I like to do a 45-degree angle approximately. It's just a very hard fold to actually fold normally and then reverse fold. So it's easier if you just do it right away. So you should get something like this. It's very hard because there's so many layers. Right? So now you have something like this, and then we're gonna finish up with the tail. So what we want to do is we want to rabbit ear fold, and this can be as far as you want it to go. So for this, what I want to do is I want this triangle right here that I made. It should come to the middle, and both sides should be about equal. Okay? And then we're going to fold all the way to the end. And a good way to do this is you line up this edge with the crease here. So we're rabbit ear folding and we line this up here, and we're gonna fold this up. Let me do that again. So we have this rabbit ear fold. We are going to fold that down like this. So we have a rabbit ear, and we're gonna fold this down too. Then we're gonna fold up. Once we have it up this way, we're gonna fold down. Okay, we should get these two diamonds here, and then we are going to unfold. And we're gonna use this bottom crease that we made. We're gonna fold this up here. Okay. Then we're gonna fold this down a little bit. Only this first layer. Okay, so we're gonna open this up, and only this first layer we're gonna fold down just a tad. And when we do that, the second layer should naturally do this. You should get a little bit more in the second layer. Try and make it a little thin. Okay, and then you can fold down. Now what you want to do is you want to take this, and we're just gonna fold this down by folding this in. So when we fold downwards, right, we are going to do that by reverse folding this. Not really reverse folding, but we're more or less squishing this downwards here. I'll put a diagram on the screen because this one's a little tricky. Okay, so we should have something like this with these two diamonds here. So first we're gonna pleat. So to do this, we're gonna valley fold on this edge that we have right there, and we're gonna fold back. Should have something like this. And then we're gonna do the same for this top one right here. This one's gonna be a little trickier. We're just gonna go right in the middle of this first diamond, and then we're gonna fold it back. So you should end up with something like this. And you can take the tail out and do whatever you want with it here. I like to just go like this. Can fix it up a little bit. Those plates are to make ripples in the tail, so it looks a little nicer. So you have something like this. Alright, and that's it. There's your model. You just made the cat by Katsuya Kyohei. Thank you for watching.